Now at 9, we are just hours away from the opening of the highly anticipated Delphi trial. Learn how prosecutors and jurors alike are preparing for the historic case.
And an international event brought millions together. See how Indiana took part.
Forging a stronger community. Hear about Ball State's plan to bring the city of Muncie into the heart of campus.
And President Joe Biden took another step towards student loan forgiveness. See who qualifies for the latest round of debt relief.
And I'm currently tracking some cool temperatures tonight, but we got to warm up on the way in my full forecast.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening, thanks for being with us. I'm Demar Robinson.
And I'm Eli Grasham. Tomorrow marks the beginning of the historic Delphi murder trial.
Richard Allen, who was arrested in 2022, is charged with the murder of 13-year-old Abigail Williams and 14-year-old Liberty German. The Associated Press says that the last of the 16 jurors were sworn in today. Opening statements for the trial, which is set in Carroll County, begin tomorrow. AP says the trial is expected to last a month, and in that time, jurors are isolated from the press. They are also banned from using cell phones or viewing news broadcasts.
Today, people around the world took part in International Shakeout Day. It's an earthquake drill meant to teach people what to do when one actually strikes. Participants learned how to drop, cover, and hold on. Of the thousands of people that took part in today's event, that included multiple Delaware and Randolph County schools. In Randolph County, Union County and Randolph Southern schools practiced their earthquake safety. In Delaware County, Yorktown Community Schools, Muncie Community Schools, Selma Elementary, and Wapahani High School all participated in the Great Shakeout.
Ball State has a lot in store for the future according to a long-term project. NewsLink Indiana's Kamara Munn reports.
Ball State's strategic plan for 2040 is in action on and off campus. Destination 2040, our flight path, is a long-term project to prepare students for the future while strengthening community and campus engagement. This project consists of 5 goals that relate to innovation, scholarship, undergrad, and graduate education. Each year, strategic imperatives are put in place to be executed by the end of the school year. This year, President Mearns and his planning committee are conducting forums for more input about the plan. He believes that receiving feedback is a critical part of the planning process.
And so we wanted to give people, students, faculty, staff, alumni, and others, many opportunities to share their ideas so that when we complete the plan in spring of 2025, everyone feels a part of that planning process.
The most recent forum was held at Muncie Central High School and was open to the public. President Mearns presents his plan through an interactive presentation, allowing participants to share their ideas with one another. Through iClickers, prompts, and conversation, community member and BSU alumni Jenna Ashby feels the forums are inclusive.
The best thing that come out of this plan is that people feel like what they said is represented by what is in the plan. So that when they see it, nothing feels surprising, nothing feels like I don't understand where that came from.
Surveys are another form of feedback that have been used to develop the plan with over 1,400 responses. The next forum will take place on October 24th in the Emmons Hospitality Room. In Muncie, Kamara Munn, NewsLink Indiana.
President Mearns encourages everyone to share their thoughts through these forums. For more dates, visit bsu.edu/calendar.
You know, we have these collaboration meetings with the community, try to predict and plan the future of the community, and it's interesting trying to predict the future of the weather.
Speaking of weather, let's see what Hunter has for us for the weather.
Yeah, no, it was a nice day out, but let's look at those temperatures right now. It is 47 degrees in Muncie, a little bit warmer in Indianapolis of 54. But for today, we had a high of 61, nearly the average of 66 for this time of the year. Not quite breaking that 83, thankfully, as we have that fall autumn air in store. But I am tracking currently some cool morning lows on the way, drier conditions, and nothing but clear skies in my full forecast.
A Georgia grand jury handed down indictments today in Appalachia High School mass shooting. The Appalachia High School mass shooting. 14-year-old Colt Gray and his father Colin Gray are facing dozens of charges. Investigators testified about Colt's plan to carry out the attack, saying the teen created drawings and even was working on a school shooting outfit. And Gray's father reportedly bought the AR-style rifle for his son as a Christmas gift. That was just months after the teen was investigated for a separate school shooting threat.
The Israeli Defense Forces confirmed today the death of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar. Officials said Sinwar's identity was confirmed through DNA testings and dental records. His body was spotted in the rubble of a building that was struck by an Israeli tank in Gaza earlier today.
Today, Israel confirmed that Yahya Sinwar, the leader of Hamas, is dead, and justice has been served. And the United States, Israel, and the entire world are better off as a result. Sinwar was responsible for the killing of thousands of innocent people, including the victims of October 7 and hostages killed in Gaza. He had American blood on his hands.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said there are no signs that hostages were harmed in the mission that left Sinwar dead. Sinwar is considered the architect of the October 7th attack on Israel. Coming up, see how new federal rule will impact popular infect products.
And see how climate change has impacted an important phenomenon.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, we love you always.
Everything I do,
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
Welcome back. For the first time, federal safety regulations will be placed on infant support cushions.
Mandy Gaither tells us how officials believe these regulations could save many lives.
The safest space for a baby to sleep is on a flat, bare surface. Placing products in a child's dedicated sleeping space can be dangerous, even deadly.
We're trying to prevent those deaths and injuries from occurring.
Between 2010 and 2022, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission linked infant support cushions to 79 infant deaths and 124 injuries. Most were younger than 3 months old, and the CPSC says a majority of the deaths involve the cushion being placed in a sleep setting. The products include infant loungers, pillows for positioning, tummy time, nursing, and lounging, as well as stuffed toys, pads, and mats.
So important to make sure these products are only used while your baby is awake for tummy time activities and while the parent is aware and right there with the baby at all times.
In an effort to prevent these deaths and serious injuries, the CPSC has approved new federal mandatory standards aimed at reducing risk of suffocation, entrapment, and falls. The new rule will require products to undergo firmness testing and sidewall angle testing. The maximum incline angle will no longer be allowed to exceed 10 degrees. The use of infant restraints will also be prohibited, as officials say they give a false sense of safety for babies to be left unattended. And a strongly worded on-product warning label will now be required.
Make sure you have a product that meets those requirements.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The new rules will go into effect in approximately 6 months and apply to all infant support cushions manufactured after that time.
President Joe Biden recently approved another $4.5 billion in student debt relief. His latest round impacts more than 60,000 public sector workers, including teachers, nurses, and firefighters. The borrowers qualify for debt relief through the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. Since taking office, Biden has canceled more than $175 billion of debt for nearly 5 million people.
The global water cycle is off balance, a first in human history. The water cycle refers to the complex system which water moves around the Earth. According to a new report published yesterday by the Global Commission on the Economics of Water, the report says decades of destructive land use and water mismanagement have collided with the human-caused climate crisis to put, quote, unprecedented stress on the world's water cycle. The report says disruptions to the water cycle are deeply intertwined with climate change.
Taking a look at the current temperatures, we are starting to cool down in our area, but I am tracking some warmer temperatures in my full forecast.
As a dad, every day is a challenge. To make sure that the time that I have, I spend with them. It doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to try to teach them. When they learn something new, and you can just see in their faces, it's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
When tornadoes touched down in parts of our viewing area, NewsLink Indiana kept you informed days in advance.
You do need to be seeking shelter.
Marginal risk of severe weather.
And days after.
The roof has been ripped completely off of this house,
giving you a first-hand look at the communities affected.
When your neighbors lose their house and you don't, how lucky you are.
The first to alert you of severe weather before it happens. NewsLink Indiana Weather.
Can't believe you're doing this alone. I've done it before. I remember. You threw your back out. How you holding up? Hand me that board. Nothing wrong with getting help. I'm good. I did it when Felicia left. I'll figure it out. I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying. If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence? Now you need my help. It can be a real pain sometimes, you know that? Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Welcome back. Winter is coming. At least that's according to the National Ocean and Atmospheric Administration's winter outlook projections.
Maribel Gonzalez spoke to their experts.
This winter could look a little different than the last one.
Overall, we are expecting warmer than normal temperatures across the southern tier of the country.
Last year, the natural climate pattern known as El Niño, in addition to warming due to fossil fuel pollution, brought warmer winters in the south and cooler ones in the north, with less snow in much of the northeast and Midwest. This year, its counterpart, La Niña, could bring a warmer and drier south and a wetter north.
Above normal temperatures are more likely across the southern tier of the country, also northward along the eastern seaboard, with below normal temperatures favored for parts of the northern Rockies and northern plains.
But no two La Nina winters are the same, and their strength matters. The Climate Prediction Center forecasts this one to be a weaker event.
We would expect a more variable weather pattern. So you could go from warm and wet to cold and dry in a matter of 2 or 3 weeks.
And while El Nino and La Nina climate patterns help give us a good idea of what to expect, experts like Peter Goebel, climatologist at Colorado State University, says Mother Nature will have the ultimate say.
I like to use the analogy with El Nino, La Nina of it's like playing a game of cards or poker with a few extra aces in the deck. You might have an idea of how the deck is stacked, but it doesn't mean you know exactly what hand you're going to get.
I'm Maribel Gonzalez, reporting.
And while I have never been the biggest fan of snow, I think it's kind of all over the place sometimes, I am looking forward to a white winter.
Yeah, it definitely helps with those winter vibes. Thinking about weather and all that, we'll send it now to Hunter for weather.
Hunter?
Yeah, no, we are not quite into the snow yet. As we are getting to the fall, though, we are 47 degrees in Muncie, a little bit warmer in Indianapolis of 54. But for our hometown areas, mostly in the lower 40s, and that'll be persistent through tonight with those cool morning lows as you head out the door. But we have an actual trend of warmer temperatures for the next week, for especially highs. So we're actually 2 degrees warmer than normal for this time of the year. But with that radar, you can see nothing but clear skies in our area, and that'll be the theme for the next 7 days ahead. Not only that, with warmer temperatures, but with clear skies, which would be nice to enjoy all the fall activities we have in store. With tonight, though, we'll slowly start to be in the mid-40s, but making our way down to 39 degrees with winds south-southeast at 5 miles per hour. Again, very crisp tonight ahead, potentially some frost as you walk out the door in the morning. With tomorrow, we'll gradually start warming up to 68 degrees, winds south 5 miles per hour. A little bit gradual warming for tomorrow as a hint of what is in store for the weekend ahead. With that being said, though, we have had no rain in sight for the past few days. We've only had 0.15 inches of rain when we're usually at nearly 1.5 inches. So we are in desperate need of rain, especially looking at this map here. This is the drought monitor for the state of Indiana. You can see a severe drought in the Fort Wayne region, but for our viewing area, it's mostly the dry and moderate conditions, which we could probably have a burn ban in effect again. I know we've had several the past few months. So again, with having all these dry conditions with this high pressure, we're going to see that continue to develop. We'll also have a roller coaster temperature, 71 for Saturday as a high, but going down into the 40s for your Saturday night. So that's 31-degree difference here. And that means you got to add some more layers as you walk out the door Saturday evening versus, taking a nice morning walk on Saturday. And that's, again, a general theme for the next 7 days here. Above average for most of the United States, in which we could see more April-like temperatures versus October temperatures. And that will continue to be persistent here, as you can see nothing but clear skies for Saturdays being 71, but our sweet spot is 76 on Monday. But as you pan out here, you can see the more general topic is those cool morning lows in the 40s by Wednesday.
I remember early today I was heading out for my classes. I had a long sleeve shirt, long sleeve sweater, and I had to change it middle of the day because it was pretty hot.
Yeah, you just start sweating, just take each layer off each time.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. Well, there's a lot more to get to on NewsLink Indiana. Josiah Veen has a preview of sports.
Thanks, Eli and DeMar. One Ball State squad looks to take on the SEC, and another one takes on the Ohio Gauntlet. All this and more next in sports.
It's something about having that piece of paper. Some people think that's worth more than my skills.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
You just gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Analytics and empathy. That's how I've gained clients.
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
¿Qué color? Perfecto, amigo.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, amigo?
Donating to a pet's medical care is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
At night, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed.
But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal Weather, bringing you up to speed on the day's top stories.
And giving you up-to-the-minute conditions from the Ball State Weather Center.
And of course, lots of fun.
I gave mine personality. Look, it's got eyebrows.
Ooh, my lucky glove didn't even work.
But I also am excited for those fall temperatures.
Start your Friday mornings with Cardinal Weather, live on the Cardinal Weather Facebook page.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Josiah Veen with sports. Playoffs has officially started for high school volleyball, and every game is now do or die for these athletes. As every squad looks to make it to round 2, NewsLink Indiana's Jake Dickman heads over to Wapahani to catch round 1 of Muncie Burris versus Eastbrook. Jake, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Josiah. You are absolutely right to say that every game from here on out is a do-or-die situation for every team in Indiana. Even for the defending 2A state champion, the Muncie Burris Owls. Now, here at Wapahani tonight, the Owls began their title defense against the Eastbrook Panthers. And if the Panthers were considered an underdog, someone forgot to tell them that because they came out of the gates swinging, stunning the Owls early and taking an early lead in the first set. Now, the Owls were able to overcome that deficit in the first set to defeat the Panthers 25-17 in the first set. The Owls would then build upon that momentum to win the second set 25. And win the third and final set 25-8 to complete the clean sweep. Excuse me. I also had a chance to talk to head coach Jim Craig after the game, and he said his team was quote-unquote lucky. He said that they got knocked in the teeth early, but they were able to rebound, and he'll look for more of that going forward. I also asked him if they had a proverbial target on their back, to which he said they do, but they've had that all season, so they're more than prepared for that. After the win tonight, the Owls will look to keep their title defense alive here at Wapahani on Saturday morning against the Blackford Bears. Live in Selma, Jake Dickman, NewsLink Indiana.
Thanks, Jake. A North Carolina judge is looking to release the convicted killer of basketball legend Michael Jordan's father. The judge was also one who presided over the 1996 murder trial. During the original trial, prosecutors argued Daniel Green fatally shot James Jordan as he slept in his Lexus along a North Carolina highway in July 1993. Prosecutors said it was a robbery gone wrong. Jordan's body was found less than 2 weeks later in a South Carolina swamp. On Tuesday, the judge in that trial spoke before the state's parole commission about a key finding he says was omitted from the trial. He argued that a forensic blood analyst failed to disclose that testing on a blood-like substance inside the car came back negative or inconclusive for blood. The judge said that evidence could have changed the outcome of the trial, and its omission has haunted him ever since. Green is currently serving a life sentence for Jordan's death. He has maintained that he did not kill Jordan, but had admitted to helping get rid of his body. The commission is expected to deliberate for at least a month on whether Green should be granted parole. Moving over to the gridiron, the Cardinal football team travels to Nashville, Tennessee this weekend to take on the Vanderbilt Commodores. The Cardinals are coming off a nail-biting 37-35 win over Kent State this past weekend and look to keep the momentum on the road. On the other side of the field, the Commodores look to fly out of the bye week after coming off their biggest win of the year as they beat number 1 ranked Alabama 40-35. This game will be the Cardinals' first night game of the year with kickoff Saturday at 7 o'clock. After this game, the Cardinals will return to action next week as they take on the Northern Illinois Huskies.
I know we're not in home territory, of course, playing Vandy, but I'm looking forward to seeing what the Cards can do.
I mean,
an upset would be super exciting, but of course Vandy also is well known for this upset that they had this season.
Thank you, Josiah. Coming up, we have Stephanie Weaver has campus coverage.
Attacks against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are on the rise.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer. In terms of the hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. I'm Stephanie Weaver, and this is your campus coverage.
This past Tuesday, the CCIM Living Learning Community hosted a get-together for a photography competition. There were 5 categories, including fall, beneficence, chirp chirp, Ball State, and nature.
One of the ideas I wanted to hit was kind of this cornerstone, all the different cornerstones of media to try and engage the students, and one of those was photography.
It didn't matter how skilled you were at photography or whether you used a professional-grade camera or simply your phone. What mattered was getting a chance to get involved in the living learning community.
I think it's really fun. Like, even if you don't win, it's still like a fun experience and like a good way to get involved with like Ball State and the different dorms.
At this event, all the photos were shown on a slideshow, while participants enjoyed pizza and breadsticks. The overall winner of the competition, Dylan Budd, was given a Polaroid camera. The LLC named 4 other top photographers for this contest.
There are many opportunities like this one to get involved on campus. The LLC experienced this page on the Ball State website for upcoming events in your living learning community. Well, that was pretty cool. There were lots of pictures like nature photos, beat up cars, and even those little robots that drive around.
That was very cool. Thank you, Stephanie.
And now to Hunter with weather.
You know, we got a nice week ahead, nothing but clear skies as we'll gradually start warming up into the 70s. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Hunter. That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to tune in tomorrow morning for our sister show, Waking Up with Cardinal Weather, streaming on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, just go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night and stay safe.